this time.
Okay, yeah. So my
Okay.
first question would be, what is your favorite cake?
Oh, my favorite cake. Do you mean like to bake or to eat?
To eat.
So I'll be completely honest, I actually don't really eat cake. um, I used to really love cake, and hence why I kind of got into baking. But I think, you know, when you make it so much, like I bake so many cakes. But I'd say if I was ever going to eat a cake, it has to be carrot cake for me. Especially the one that I make. I'm a bit fussy. I don't like ones with raisins in, so I make it without raisins. But yeah, carrot cake's probably my favourite.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, what does food mean to you in general? And it could be any type of food or anything baking type.
Yeah, so I'm actually half Maltese, so food for me is absolutely massive in our culture, in our family. It's our sort of like our focal point. It's what brings us all together. So for me, food is massively important. I'd actually rather go out for a nice like meal, or just kind of go out and have like nibbles, or, you know, when lockdown goes and, you know, we can get back to some normality, you know, having friends round for like nibbles and food, like that's my main sort of thing that kind of brings me together with everyone. And like I say, it's part of our culture, it's how we communicate. So yeah, it's really important to me.
Okay.
So,
What's your favourite meal?
Oh God. My favourite meal is probably something with pasta or steak. So maybe like, I love a carbonara, but it's like my nana's recipe, so like proper carbonara. Or to be fair, my partner does quite good meatballs, but we have like a steak every so often. So yeah, either steak or carbonara, I think.
Okay.
so as much as you bake, would you say that you're into cooking food, like savory foods as well?
100%, yeah. So my mum was a chef, and is still in hospitality now. So again, food is just like massively part of, you know, my culture in terms of like my mum's side of things, but also my dad's side of things, because he's you know, from Malta. So we've kind of grown up in that environment where we know where our food comes from. I was lucky enough to kind of grow up in the countryside, so we were very aware of things. But yeah, I love cooking pretty much everything. I'd say I probably do 80% of the dinners in our family household as well.
Wow.
I was also going to ask you, when it comes to cooking, do you like to like cook with other people, or do you like to be the only one in the kitchen cooking?
No, again, quite a social person. So definitely if there's people around, obviously not at the minute, but where, like, for example, when lockdown restrictions lifted, we had sort of like a barbecue in the summer, you know, and we had people there, and, you know, people are in and out the kitchen, and, you know, I quite like that hustle and bustle. I think it's just because I'm from such a big family as well, so I think having that amount of people around all the time is quite nice.
What foods do you hate or really dislike?
I really dislike tin tuna, cannot stand it. And I don't like tomatoes, you know, like fresh tomatoes.
Yeah.
I really don't eat that at all. Like, I think I've had one tomato. I don't even eat tomato ketchup.
Wow.
My partner thinks I'm really weird. Like, I just don't even. I don't know.
I'm the
Yeah, I need to
same.
have
And I
ketchup
have
with everything.
I just don't
Absolutely
like
everything.
it at all. Like, I'm just not really into like sauces. So the only time I've ever really eaten sauces was when I was pregnant, and my friend actually took me to KFC, and she actually like made me try barbecue sauce and mayo mixed together with like the KFC chicken.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've actually ever eaten sauces, and that I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm amazed because I don't like tomatoes either, and I find it such an inconvenient food to like because it's
It's
just
in everything, and again, like, because we're Mediterranean, everything's made with like tomato base. So I don't mind it when it's cooked, but I just can't eat it when it's like raw, or it's not for me.
Same.
Okay, the other question I had is, are you someone that also likes to, since you're a sociable person, are you someone that likes to share your food when you're eating, or do you prefer to like have your own separate meal and you're not much of a sharer?
It depends where we are. If like I'm out for dinner and we go to like we kind of go to the Italian quite a lot in town. Obviously not now, but we did. I don't tend to share my food if we go there, but I've got a little one as well, and so he's always like picking at our food and trying like new things like off our plate and stuff. So yeah, I don't mind sharing as and when.
I was gonna ask, how do you eat when you eat? Like, do you eat together? Do you eat alone? And what do you do while you're eating?
We eat together. We don't have a dining room at the moment, but we have like a little pop-up picnic table, which sounds really weird. But we kind of sit around that, and we try and, because Frank's 2, so we try and get him to sit around the table because we think that's really important to kind of like have that family group connection.
Yeah.
Okay. So going into your business now, would you say that, what would you say is the most popular type of product? Is it more of the customized cakes, or is it like the cookies that you have as well?
Yeah, I think definitely the cakes are probably one of the most popular things, and I tend to get quite a lot of feedback and things like that. But through lockdown, I did like a postal service for Cakesicles. I don't know if you've seen them on my Instagram, but they're literally like cake lolly sticks. They're about that big. In fact, I've got one in the kitchen. I'm just doing my Christmas hampers. So they're not very big at all. They're literally that, but they're not very big. And they really, really sold really well through lockdown. So they were probably the most popular during lockdown. But yeah, cakes definitely.
Okay. Who are your most frequent types of customers? Would you say anybody, or have you got a type of customer that you see the most?
Do you know what? It's a really odd one, because it's predominantly female. I don't know if that is because women generally are organisers. I don't know, but predominantly it is women. And I think the age group that I've kind of captured is probably from sort of that 28, maybe 25, 28 age range kind of upwards. So it's that kind of group of people.
Okay. And since you said you're not really a fan of cakes, but do you still have a favorite cake that you like to bake?
Oh, like to bake? Yeah, one that's really simple, vanilla. Just because we're so busy at the minute, it's just easy and simple and less hassle.
Is the baking process still fun for you?
Yeah, weirdly it is. It's even though being so busy at the moment, yeah, I still enjoy it, definitely. When Frank's not around, it's a lot easier, but when he's around and he's trying to want my attention all the time, it becomes a lot difficult.
Sorry. What would you have as your last meal?
Oh gosh, my last meal, probably like steak with Stilton cheese, probably.
That's a hearty meal.
I know, it's a really difficult one.
And what do you drink, or do you need a drink while you eat?
Yeah, so again, having like a glass of wine or something, it's very much part of our family culture and like Maltese culture. It's very sort of like European in that sense that we, as children, you kind of brought up to have wine on the table, like it's very much sort of there. But it's not a drink that like we don't. Like, I wouldn't say I'm a massive drinker. I'd say I'm more of a social drinker. But I think that's just because it's just how we've been brought up, and it's not been something that's kind of been pushed aside. It's kind of been introduced, at a relatively sort of younger age.
Okay. Do you have like a set routine when you bake or cook? Like, would you listen to music, or will you have the TV on or the radio?
So I tend to just so I'm in my lounge now, so you can see the kitchen's in there. So I tend to put the TV on in the lounge just for a bit of background noise. I'm not massively like into music, so I'll put the odd bit of music on if I'm fed up of hearing like the news or something on telly, but that's it really.
I was also going to ask, do you feel as though any other cultures other than the countries that you're from have influenced the way that you cook or even bake, like French cuisine in your cakes?
I'm not sure really. I'd probably say no, like, because again, like from our sort of with like background, our Maltese family, they don't bake. It's not really a thing out there. It's not really like they have sort of more baked goods like biscuits, and we have like traditional sort of like cannoli or like figoli like type biscuits, but not really kind of like cakes and stuff. But no, I wouldn't necessarily say any other sort of like countries in terms of like influencing sort of style and things like that.
What is your favorite drink? And that can be soft drink or alcoholic drink or both.
Oh, do you know what? I really do like a gin and tonic. I was just looking at my alcohol counter. I do like a gin and tonic, or a glass of wine. I mean, I'd kind of, or a lager, like we had a little lager last night. So yeah, or I'm really boring, I'll just go for water.
Oh, fair enough. I hate gin and tonics.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. It's the tonic water. It's just.
I think that's what it is. Everyone says it's the tonic water, but I think, I mean, I don't like fruity tonics. They have to be quite dry. Yeah.
I'm the opposite. If I was gonna have, like, I only recently realized that I don't. I used to hate gin, but I only realized that I don't hate it when I tried pink gin with lemonade, and that's the only way I can have it.
Yeah, do you know what? My best friend, she was the same. She's never drank gin, and then she tried pink gin. I think she had it with like ginger ale. Actually, that's meant to be quite nice. I tried a little bit, but pink gin's quite sweet for me. So just not a very sweet person. No, not for me. 100%,
I've stopped drinking with like fizzy drinks. I drink with juices now, and that's really nice. Yeah, like I have Jack Daniels and apple juice. It's great.
Oh,
great.
That's interesting. What, Jack Daniels and apple
juice?
Oh.
Yeah. Try it. You're gonna like it.
Do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm not sure about the Jack Daniels.
Maybe you could try gin with apple juice or something.
Yeah. My other half, he drinks a lot of brandy. Like we've got brandy on our like cabinet, and we've got gin. Like we've got a real mixture of alcohol.
Yeah.
Are you big on ice?
Yes.
Yeah. If you have ice, or if you tell your husband to have brandy with some apple juice and some ice.
Oh, I'll tell him to try that. He's got a sweet tooth, so he normally goes for a bit of like the Coke and brandy and like lots of ice.
Okay. And with your choice of wine, do you prefer white wine or red wine?
Generally white wine, but if we have like a steak or something, we'll always go for like a red wine.
With it. Okay. And also, what is your favorite meal of the day? Is it breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Dinner, definitely dinner, because I don't really get a chance to eat breakfast, so which is really bad. But and I just can't bother with breakfast. I'd rather have a couple of cup of teas and a coffee.
Yeah. What is your favorite hot drink?
Tea, Yorkshire tea. Like strong builder's tea. I don't like any of this weak nonsense.
Wow. Okay. My last question would probably be, what is your favorite cuisine?
Favorite cuisine? Do you know what? We've just started. We've not started, but my friend's dad is from Jamaica, and we've been eating a lot of their, like, she sends us like meals over, and we've been eating a lot of like homemade sort of like Jamaican Caribbean style food. Like we had some like curried goat the other week and some lamb, and do you know what? It was so nice. Like it's so spicy. I cannot cope with the heat, but it got as quick as you put it in your mouth, like the heat's gone. But it's that addictive. It's that addictive spice. And honestly, my mouth like is on fire 9 times out of 10. But like she's taught me how to like make dumplings and things like that. So But yeah, she sometimes just like comes and drops us food off, like little food parcels. So, and like we let Frank taste it because like we just want him to get used to like different flavors. I mean, it's probably a bit too hot for him, but
Oh, I really like Caribbean food as well.
yeah, do you know, I do really, really love it. I just think the flavors that what they do with the food and how they like flavor it and tenderize it, it's actually really clever, like through spices. And like I didn't even realize like down some of the like spice aisles, like you can get all sorts of like jerk seasoning, like what's that brand called? It's like the Caribbean brand.
One River.
Reggae.
Yeah,
Or
something like that.
Yeah.
Or it's like in a tropical tub. It's like allspice.
Yeah.
I
Also,
know,
those
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's quite a popular like one. But yeah, it's I just think you can flavour so much with it. And like I say, she's like been teaching me, and so it's quite nice really.
Okay. My last question is, what is a food that you wish you could cook?
Oh, wish I could cook. This is gonna sound so strange. But I like so my other half, like he says to me, I cannot cook a boiled egg or a fried egg. And it's really embarrassing. It's shocking. I can't. I don't know why. I know you can't be good at everything, but
A boiled egg.
like I can cook it, but you know, like you overcook it or you undercook it.
Yeah.
It's really embarrassing. Or rice. Like I normally just buy boil in the bag rice, and then that's really they're the two things I just can't seem to kind of get right. I don't know why. just can't. Which sounds so weird, but I don't know how.
My first time cooking rice as well.
Yeah,
rice is a difficult one to get correct.
It is, and I think if it's in a bag and it's pretty much made for you, it's easy.
It's knowing how much water to put in so it's not too hard or soggy.
That's what I mean. It's not. It's actually really like difficult. There's a proper science to it, I'm sure.
Yeah. There is. Okay, over to Josh now.
Hey, so first question: are you a fan of Bake Off?
You know what, I am, but I haven't actually been watching it as much this time round. But yeah, I do watch it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen something that you've wanted to recreate?
Do you know what, macaroons? I would really like to be able to master macaroons. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're absolutely shocking, but yeah, probably macaroons.
I can honestly say I've never had a macaroon before.
Oh, they're quite nice.
You were saying through the lockdown, your business has been growing with a lot of people ordering cakes. What would you say the most regular order through lockdown has been?
Definitely the cakes calls, and definitely the postal service to kind of get them to everyone and anyone. I mean, I was posting as far as like Northern Ireland, like Scotland, and as far down south as like Cornwall, Penzance, like literally went everywhere. And then it actually got to a point where I was that busy, I had to kind of like take a step back and think, I don't think I can actually like keep up with this amount. So I really had to like limit the amount of orders that I was kind of, because it's literally just me, that's it. And then obviously all the sort of like the sugar and the flour started to disappear off the shelf, so then it became even even harder. But yeah, definitely the cakes calls.
What's the most elaborate cake you have made before?
Most elaborate cake, probably wedding cakes. Probably those, because obviously they're quite special for for the occasion, and they can be quite intricate in terms of like what people really want. So probably wedding cakes.
And are they also the most personal cakes you've made for people?
Yeah, I don't know, because I think every cake I make is actually really personal to each individual person. So like today I've had a cake be picked up that's for a first birthday, and obviously it's a really special sort of milestone age, and they really wanted to celebrate it. So I think even that's just sort of like personal in itself, really. So I think every cake is quite personable.
I know who to order my cakes from now.
Yeah.
What made you want to start your own business?
So basically, I was working in recruitment up until about 2 years ago, and then I had my little boy, and kind of just decided one day that actually I didn't really want to kind of go back into that environment. It's quite full on. Like, it's very much like 7:30 till like 5:30, 6:00. You don't really switch off, and I just thought, I can't really do that with a little one. And that was, I don't know, one of my friends just said to me, why don't you like bake for a living? And I was like, oh, I'm not sure about that. I don't think I'm actually any good. And then I started to get a few orders, and I thought, okay, maybe I am okay. So yeah, it was really my son kind of that spurred me on, because if I hadn't had him, I'd probably still be doing recruitment.
Do the two of you do a lot of baking together, where you do all the hard work and he gets to be the taste tester?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he does any work at all, apart from kind of run around the kitchen or throw things or anything like that. But yeah, again, he's not really a cake person. What he does love is the little Kinder Bueno bars, or at the minute he keeps finding the little Christmas gold coins. So he's an absolute chocolate fiend. Like, he'll eat chocolate until he is sick.
Yeah, I think everyone did at that age.
Yeah, he will eat and eat and eat, and he loves, like, weirdly loves Lotus Biscoff biscuits. Like, he'll sit and eat. If I left him, and he would eat the whole pack. He's only 2. He's got a problem.
Did you grow up doing a lot of baking, or is it very much 2 years ago starting to do it?
No, I've kind of always done like baking, really. As I said earlier, my mum was a chef and is in hospitality still now. So kind of baking and things like that were very much sort of part of growing up. My mum wasn't necessarily a cake maker. Like, she didn't really make cakes. It was more sort of your homely like treats that your parents probably make, or you know, like little crispy cakes and stuff. But then my grandma actually can't cook at all. So she used to send me to like her friend around the corner, and she would like teach me to bake. So really, my grandma's friend kind of taught me how to bake, and then one of her neighbours taught me. So kind of everyone, and then I've just kind of carried it on, really.
It's that nice community aspect of
yeah.
from everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Could you share with us your earliest baking memory?
Yeah, do you know what? And it's really a weird one, because it really sticks in my mind. And it was actually when I was at primary school, and I don't know why it sticks in my mind so much, but I was in the school library and I found a baking book, and it was like something out of the like 1900s. It's like the oldest book I've ever like seen, I think, as a kid. And I just remember taking it home to my grandma and sort of showing her, and she said, oh, well, give them a try. And it was like some sort of like biscuit. I can't remember how they came out at all, but I'd say that's probably like my earliest memory is from primary school, is like wanting to like do this, make these biscuits from this book.
Are you going to add them to the menu as the nostalgia cookies?
Probably not, because I think they were vile.
Fair enough then. What transferable skills would you say you've brought over to your business? You said you used to work in recruitment, so would you say you're very personable because of that?
Yeah, I would say so. The thing with recruitment is generally the sort of what they say is people buy from people. So, you know, I'd like to think that the way that I kind of come across, you know, maybe more so at probably fairs and events like previous to COVID, I'd say I'd like to think that I would come across quite approachable in that sort of sense. Obviously, through Instagram, it's a little bit different, because you kind of don't really get a rapport necessarily until you actually physically meet the person when they come and collect the cake. So probably that sense, but maybe more the sense of business side of things, because in recruitment, you are literally effectively running your own business. You're bringing in your own income and trying to earn your own commission. So I would say that's probably the biggest transferable skill is, you know, sort of the business acumen that you learn.
What is the largest order you've ever had to bake? So someone's ordered so many. of your
In
cake
one go?
in one go?
Oh gosh. So a lady ordered like a 10-inch cake. It was absolutely massive. A 10-inch cake, and then I think she ordered like 12 cupcakes, and I think she wanted like a smaller cake as well. I'd say that was the biggest
for herself.
yeah. No, I think it was for her mum's 60th. It was like a big 60th birthday celebration. And I think the cupcakes obviously for like kids or something. So yeah, I'd say that's the biggest thing. But as I said, like I only bake from my home, so I only have one fridge, so I'm very limited to the amount of cakes I can make, per day anyway.
And my final question is a game that we've started doing with all the people we like to interview. It is telling us what your dream meal would be, but with a twist, of course. As we have a large focus on the community of Loughborough, we want you to try and answer these questions revolving around restaurants that are in Loughborough.
Oh God, okay.
So what would your dream starter of your dream meal be?
Dream starter. Really boring, but olives and like Parma ham and mozzarella. So probably Italian.
Yeah. What would your main be?
I do love a Nando's, so probably Nando's chicken.
And with your Nando's chicken, what would your side be?
What do I have as a side? I normally have. I'm just trying to think. I haven't been there for like.
But it can be any side in the world.
I'm just trying to think what I have there though. The Peronaise sauce with chips. Oh, I love the Peronaise sauce, and then halloumi, and then I have the spicy rice as well.
As long as we can all agree, no one has the creamy mash. That's all that matters.
No, like what's that about?
Someone who's had it, it just looks like loop. It looks like glue. It looks like the glue that kids use in primary school. It's just
like who has chicken and mashed potato?
No, it
don't make sense.
What would your dessert be?
Dessert. Do you know what? I'm not a sweet person, so it'd be a cheese board because I could eat cheese till the cows come home. I absolutely love cheese. So definitely cheese, but no crackers, just cheese. That'd be it.
Just cheese and more cheese. You want dairy spread on cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, what would your drink be?
Probably a really nice glass of wine, white wine, or a rosé.
Well, those are all my questions. Has anyone else got any more?
Yeah, I actually had some more questions as you were asking them. So I wanted to ask, because you're so used to baking, do you still use a measuring like scale, or is it from like memory now?
So yeah, I literally use scales all the time because things baking, it's really like scientific. If you put one thing wrong, like that's it, and it doesn't work. So and I'm quite a perfectionist, so I like to make sure everything's exactly right. The only time I don't weigh anything is when I'm like putting the batter into tins. I can't be bothered with that. I haven't got time. I just literally shove it in and then job done.
That's probably why all of my baked goods just come out dodgy, because I never measure it. So
yeah,
it always comes out wrong.
You have to.
I'll know that for next time. And I was also going to ask, are a lot of your customers repeat customers?
Yeah, I am actually getting a lot of repeat customers now, which is amazing. So I've actually really only been in business now for about a year and a half. And even in that year and a half, like I do get a lot of repeat business, even if it's just for like cupcakes or, because obviously depending on how big a family is, they might only have like one big celebration, then they might order certain things. But I do a lot of treat boxes as well. So like, I've got the Christmas stuff coming out in a couple of days. And again, people tend to, like your regulars, tend to kind of come and like buy those, which is really nice.
That's nice. And also I was going to ask, have you ever thought about expanding to owning like a cake shop or anything like that?
Yeah, so for a very long time, like even before kind of having Frank, I think because food is such a massive part of like my family and my life, I've always really wanted to do something in food. I've worked in like restaurants and things like that, and pubs and bars, so I don't want to like have anything like that, but I would really like something more perhaps along the lines of like a coffee brunch house type place, you know, something where, because there's nowhere really in Loughborough like to kind of go just for brunch, you know, that kind of like Londony vibe type thing. That's kind of like what I would really, really love, just somewhere like a nice kind of coffee brunch place that's quite easy and chill.
Then you definitely need to learn how to boil eggs then. Like,
yeah, 100%. I might actually just get my partner to do that. I might get Tim just to like do boiled eggs. Or they just might go on the menu.
Definitely. Yeah, that was my final questions that I had.
Oh, good. That's lovely.
I just had one last one, which is what would you recommend to someone who is new to baking to cook first, as in that first try?
Just go with either like a vanilla sponge or vanilla cupcake, something really, really simple. And then once you've mastered that, I think you can pretty much do anything. But also scales and weigh everything. Because that's where it all goes wrong. And once you find like a recipe that you feel comfortable with, like for example, so my brownies, it's quite like my brownie recipe is quite new, like in my business, and I've had to kind of find a few that actually work with my oven, like work how I kind of like the taste and flavor. So I think once you find the right recipe as well, I think that really helps.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and like working with us to answer all of these questions.
That's okay. No, it's great. I really appreciate you guys thinking that my business is kind of like worth, you know, having the questions asked to. So I really appreciate it.
I really enjoyed that. I felt like I was listening to a podcast. I felt like I could just lie back and just chill. It was great. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time as well. So no, that's great. Thank you.
We appreciate yours likewise. That's given us so much to work with. Honestly, you have no idea how much you've helped us by doing that.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad. Anything to help.
I will shoot you an email following this, probably within an hour, can't lie.
That's okay, don't worry.
Consent form, and
yeah, that's fine. And I've got to go and get my son from nursery, so I'll sort it all from when I get back anyway. All right.
That's absolutely fine.
Lovely to meet you all, guys. Really lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's all right. Good luck with